and get married. But then,
Marry a wife of whoredoms.
but he says, and children of whoredoms too, and he doesn't have children yet. See, so there are reasons there why I hold back. Can you imagine preaching out there on a street corner? This street corner preaching. I've done some of that, and it's wonderful. It's more than in churches. You get immediate feedback, so you get evaluation right away. And he's saying, turn back to God, turn back to Him, and we have all committed spiritual harlotry and adultery, and we've gone away from Adonai. You need to turn back to Him. One guy in the back there says, hey prophet, saw your wife down on the red strip there, some babe, and he said, who said that? Who said? I did. And listen, mister, I want to tell you something. You saw my wife? He said, yes. You tell her I love her. You're crazy, buddy. You're nuts. I wouldn't do that. I'd let her go, and that would be the end of that. And he says, yeah, and what do you think we've been doing to God? That's my whole point. But you tell her I love her and I want her back. On that, we're agreed. On that part, we're agreed. But on the other part there, where did it all start out? And I argue he is told to go and get married. But now, in the foreshortening of this, which talks about children of harlotry, how'd they get it? Because of their mother's reputation. That's why they're called children of whoredom.
It's not a great example of now, not yet. When she was married, she was single, she was pure.
Yeah.
God said, you can go marry this woman, she's going to become a whore.
And it says that she bore to him. These kids, he also names too. Well, I'm not going to win that argument. I didn't win it with my colleagues. Tom McComiskey, I think, said that he married a harlot. He's in heaven now, so I'm sure he's changed his view. But yeah, go ahead.
It depends on the idea that she was still in her purity when they married. That's a parallel to Israel, because if you read the opening chapters of Judges, that's when the people first conquered the land. They were faithful, they were listening to the Lord, and it says that they continued to serve.
Jeremiah talks about that too, about the honeymoon out in the wilderness.
Yeah.
So he has those first years in the wilderness as a honeymoon. Back here, we're getting really excited here now. Yes.
As we're going through, you're showing us how the promises often have the near and the later fulfillment.
Yeah.
How are you distinguishing that from the dual interpretation of Sherlock that you mentioned yesterday?
Yeah.
Is that the same thing?
No.
How they
Nine mixed Nippon yet. No. Dual fulfillment actually has a literal, historical, material meaning, which is BC, and then has a spiritual, eschatological meaning, which comes from the New Testament, which is reinterpreted, or that comes from sensus plenior, or that comes from some other source, Pesher or Midrash or something like that, see, and gives it two senses. So the human writer got a message from God, but he didn't get it straight. Now, how do we argue for inspiration? That he muffed it, and he only got the material thing, which sets us right up for replacement theology. It sets it right up for that, yes.
Is not the near fulfillment a literal fulfillment?
Say it a little.
Is not the near fulfillment a literal fulfillment?
The near fulfillment is literal, as is the distant. And I argue that they're one sense because they belong together, both near and distant. You talk about David the king and Mashiach, who is David our king. They are seen as one. Not a revived David that comes back, But the office that he holds is the office he holds. So there's one sense, one meaning, one interpretation. It's a hard view to take, it really is. And I've been at Evangelical Theological Society meetings of 3,000 teachers and pastors and others, and I argue this, and I think my wife holds the same view I do, and I do, and the Lord, and Paul. That's all I know. I'm sorry. Go to way in the back here.
To go back to the Gomer question, Isaiah is told by God to, in chapter 20, loosen the sackcloth from your hips and take your shoes off your feet. And he did so, going naked and barefoot. And then the next verse says, the Lord said, even as my servant Isaiah has gone naked and barefoot for 3 years. Well, it's against Torah to go naked. So, but God told Isaiah to go naked.
I would argue there's a cultural thing there. I think he was in.
So you will leave Jerusalem naked.
No, I don't think he was nude. I think he was in his BVDs. Yeah, and why? Because of the apostles, when they went out fishing, they stripped off their outer clothing.
This says, loosen your bottoms and go naked. So I told you to go naked. I probably would say, I'm not Isaiah, God.
Yeah, that's good. Don't make that your verse for today. He knew that. I just had fun. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, what is your opinion then of, going back to the discussion about human sacrifice, the daughter of Yitzchak in Judges 11? Was she really sacrificed? I know she went up to the mountains for a little while, a couple months.
Yeah.
They mourned her, it was a law in Israel. What's your take on it?
I think the dummy did it.
And God accepted it as a burnt offering?
No, no, no. Every man did what was right in his own eyes in that book.
Nothing says
Made
about
a vow.
And so when you read that, you're supposed to be shaking your head. Oy vey.
Well, yeah.
This is bad. This is bad.
Yeah.
This is bad.
There's no predicate for Mashiach's sacrifice being acceptable to Adonai, being like
Not a hint of it. Not even a whiff. Yeah.
Isn't
Here.
there biblical teaching that God will violate his Torah to preserve life? Because if that is true, then that's what he's doing all along, even with Hosea and Gomer, even with Isaiah, and even with Abraham. So isn't there a teaching that he will violate the Torah to preserve life?
No, you don't want to say that because how could God be true?
That's a rabbinic teaching.
I know I've heard it somewhere.
Yeah,
but he will do that.
yeah, get the stuff from the Bible. That's where the authority is. The other is commentary. Yes.
I think this ties in with, the Shema, Deuteronomy 6, where, and the greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, your soul, your might. And in his testings, he's seeing, will you do that? He's like, listen, Israel, will you do this for me? And then over in time and again, see if they will do that, listen to it. And of course, there's the teaching as the general principles that they should adhere to, but sometimes there's the borderline thing, but they know they're supposed to do it because they clearly heard the voice, and then they're supposed to do it. Even though there's an apparent contradiction, or it seems like there's a tension, it makes it
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah, I promised to break one more this last, and we've got to take a break, and we'll go to a real quick 10-minute break. Yeah, go ahead.
That Jephthah, thing, I studied that verse, it's Judges 11:31.
You got it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's, it says that the Holy Spirit came upon him, so that's one argument, that it was of God. But the second one is, he said, when I return in peace, whatever comes out of my house shall surely I will offer it as a sacrifice. If it's a human, it will be the Lord's, meaning my daughter will not marry or my son, I don't believe it was.
So you don't even sacrifice her.
No, no, I
At the end, it says he did with her as he vowed.
Right, so that
was
she
an
was
olah.
never given to marriage.
So you're saying he did her sacrifice.
No, that she was never given to marriage, because it was a human that came out of his door.
And it says she died a virgin. It doesn't
Right.
say she died a virgin,
Yeah.
so that's, seems to be.
Yeah.
And it also says that she wanted to go out to mourn her virginity. So
Yeah.
so she mourned that fact.
She was given a number of months to do that. Yeah. We treated that in the first section. Some of you weren't here. And I asked when he made that vow, after all, they called him from, he was in an outlaw. The family, they didn't like him because his mother was from the other side of the Jordan, and this kind of stuff. And so they said, look, we need you. And so finally they make all kind of promises to him. And then he says to Lord, if you help me, that first thing that comes out of my house, what did he think would come out of his house? What was he thinking? And I suggested, his mother-in-law? No, I think that he just made a rash vow. He shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have done it. And it's an illustration not of what's normative, but of everybody just doing their own thing. It's postmodern. It's postmodern. Everybody does their own thing. And therein was the difficulty. And you say, yeah, but that girl, and that was his only child. Yes. Makes it all the more tragic. You talk about Greek tragedies. Boy, this is a biblical tragedy of enormous proportions. Let's take that break and be back at 20 after.